The sky, once a symbol of freedom, is now a domain we've conquered, yet our mastery is fragile, as history's darkest aviation disasters remind us. March 27, 1977. A date that would become infamous in the history of aviation. Los Rodeos Airport, nestled in the misty hills of the Canary Islands, was never meant to handle the world's largest passenger jets all at once. On this day, thick fog blanketed the runways, reducing visibility to near zero. Two fully loaded Boeing 747s, one operated by KLM, the other by Pan Am, found themselves sharing the same narrow strip of tarmac, their crews straining to see through the gloom. Earlier, a terrorist bombing at a nearby airport had forced dozens of flights to divert here, overwhelming the small airport and creating a chaotic, crowded scene on the ground. The KLM crew, anxious about duty time limits and eager to depart, prepared for takeoff. Meanwhile, the Pan Am jet, still searching for its taxiway exit, crept forward, nearly invisible in the dense fog. In the control tower, radio transmissions crackled with static. Critical instructions were misunderstood or lost entirely, as language barriers and poor radio quality sowed confusion between pilots and controllers. Believing he had been cleared for takeoff, the KLM captain pushed the throttles forward, sending the massive jet hurtling down the fog-shrouded runway. Suddenly, the Pan Am crew spotted the KLM's landing lights bearing down on them through the haze. In a split second, they realized disaster was imminent. Both crews reacted instinctively. Pan Am tried to turn off the runway, while KLM desperately attempted to lift off over the other jet. The KLM's undercarriage tore through Pan Am's fuselage, igniting a massive fireball that engulfed both planes in seconds. 583 men, women, and children perished in the deadliest accident in aviation history. Only a handful survived, escaping through burning wreckage and thick smoke. The disaster exposed the lethal consequences of miscommunication, inadequate airport infrastructure, and the dangers of human error under pressure. In the aftermath, sweeping changes were made to cockpit procedures, crew resource management, and air traffic control worldwide. New protocols and technology were introduced to ensure such a tragedy would never happen again. The tragedy of Tenerife stands as a somber lesson, a stark reminder of the cost of miscommunication and the importance of vigilance in the skies. August 12, 1985. A date that would become etched in aviation history and in the hearts of thousands of families across Japan. Japan Airlines Flight 123, a Boeing 747, prepares for takeoff from Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The flight is packed with 524 people, families returning home, business travelers, and children excited for summer vacation. Just 12 minutes after takeoff, disaster strikes. A hidden flaw, a poorly repaired rear pressure bulkhead from a previous incident, suddenly explodes with a deafening roar, tearing apart the tail section. The tail and all hydraulic controls are lost instantly. The pilots, faced with chaos, struggle desperately to keep the crippled 747 in the air, alarms blaring and warning lights flashing. For 32 agonizing minutes, the crew battles for survival, using only engine thrust to steer the massive jet. Their efforts are heroic, buying precious time for those on board. Passengers, realizing the gravity of their situation, begin writing final messages and heartfelt letters to loved ones, words of love, hope, and farewell scribbled in trembling hands. The plane, unable to maintain altitude, clips a ridge and crashes into the remote, forested slopes of Mount Osutaka, scattering wreckage across the mountainside. Rescue teams arrive hours later, navigating treacherous terrain. Miraculously, 4 people are found alive, but only one, a 12-year-old girl, survives her injuries and the night. 520 lives are lost, making it the deadliest single aircraft accident in history. The tragedy devastates families and shocks the world. Investigations reveal the disaster was preventable. The tragedy exposes the dangers of overlooked maintenance and leads to sweeping changes in aviation safety standards worldwide. Today, a solemn memorial stands at Mount Osutaka, a testament to the cost of human error, the pain of loss, and the extraordinary courage shown by both crew and passengers. November 12, 1996. Over Charkhi, Dadri, India, 2 jets, Saudi 747 and Kazakh Il-76, are on a collision course. Miscommunication and language barriers cause the Kazakh crew to descend below their assigned altitude. Without a collision avoidance system, disaster is inevitable. The Ilyushin's tail slices through the 747's wing. Both planes disintegrate. 349 lives are lost in the deadliest mid-air collision ever. The tragedy exposes the need for universal collision avoidance technology. It prompts global reforms in air traffic control and cockpit communication. A single misunderstanding in the sky can cost hundreds of lives. March 3, 1974. Turkish Airlines Flight 981, a DC-10, departs Paris with a hidden flaw, a weak cargo door design. At 11,000 feet the door blows out, causing explosive decompression and severing control cables. The pilots lose all control, the plane dives into the forest of Ermenonville. All 346 aboard perish. A previous incident had warned of this flaw, but changes weren't enforced. The crash forces a global redesign of the DC-10's cargo doors. It's a stark reminder that small design oversights can have catastrophic consequences. Aviation safety is written in the lessons of tragedy. Every detail matters. Charkhi Dadri's collision was a convergence of two worlds, one ascending, one descending, brought together by a fatal miscommunication. The Saudi 747 carried workers and families. The Kazakh Il-76, a cargo crew. A misunderstood instruction led the Kazakh plane into the 747's path. The collision was instant and devastating. 349 lives ended in a fiery cataclysm. The disaster led to mandatory collision avoidance systems and improved air traffic protocols. The sky's vastness offers no forgiveness for error. May 25, 1979. It's a clear afternoon at Chicago O'Hare International Airport. American Airlines Flight 191, a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, prepares for takeoff, its engines roaring as it accelerates down the runway. On board are 258 passengers and 13 crew, all bound for Los Angeles, unaware of the disaster about to unfold. Just moments after liftoff, the unthinkable happens. The left engine violently tears away from the wing, ripping through vital hydraulic lines and damaging the wing's slats. The aircraft is suddenly crippled, losing critical lift and control. In the cockpit, the pilots remain calm under pressure. Unaware of the full extent of the damage, they follow standard engine-out procedures, relying on their training and checklists. But the situation is far more dire than anyone realizes. With the left wing's lift compromised, the aircraft begins to bank sharply. Asymmetrical lift causes the left wing to stall completely. The DC-10 rolls uncontrollably, plunging toward the ground just seconds after takeoff. The impact is catastrophic. All 273 people aboard perish instantly, along with 2 people on the ground. The crash leaves a scene of devastation and heartbreak. Investigators soon uncover the cause. A maintenance shortcut during engine removal had created a hidden crack in the engine pylon, a flaw that went undetected until it was too late. In the aftermath, the entire DC-10 fleet is grounded worldwide. The tragedy forces sweeping changes in aircraft maintenance procedures and oversight, forever altering aviation safety standards. Flight 191 remains the deadliest aviation accident on U.S. soil, a somber reminder of the consequences of overlooked details and human error. The legacy of Flight 191 endures, teaching the aviation world that every procedure, every inspection, and every decision matters. Complacency and shortcuts can cost lives, and safety must always come first. June 23, 1985. Air India Flight 182 cruises over the Atlantic, unaware of the bomb ticking in its cargo hold. The device, planted by Sikh extremists, explodes mid-flight. The 747 disintegrates. 329 lives are lost. A second bomb, intended for another flight, detonates in Tokyo, killing 2 on the ground. The investigation is long and complex, confirming terrorism as the cause. The tragedy prompts sweeping changes in airport security and baggage screening. It remains one of the deadliest acts of aviation terrorism, the legacy vigilance against threats hidden in plain sight. Security is never optional. July 17, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 flies over war-torn eastern Ukraine. A Russian-supplied missile, fired from separatist territory, strikes the jet at cruising altitude. The cockpit is destroyed instantly. The plane breaks apart, scattering wreckage over farmland. All 298 aboard are killed. The investigation traces the missile to separatist forces. the tragedy forces airlines to rethink routes over conflict zones. MH17's loss is a stark warning. War on the ground can reach the skies. No flight path is immune to the world's conflicts. July 3, 1988. Iran Air Flight 655 climbs over the Persian Gulf, following a routine path. The USS Vincennes, on high alert, mistakes the Airbus for a hostile fighter jet. Miscommunication and stress lead to a fatal decision. 2 missiles are launched, the airliner is destroyed, killing all 290 aboard. The incident sparks international outrage and debate. It's a chilling example of how technology and human error can combine in tragedy. Civilian lives are lost in the fog of war. The cost of misjudgment is irreversible. December 21, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103, a 747, explodes over Lockerbie, Scotland. A bomb, hidden in a suitcase, rips the plane apart at 31,000 feet. The nose shears off, the fuselage crashes into the town below. 270 people on board and 11 on the ground are killed. The attack is traced to Libyan agents. The investigation is massive, leading to new security protocols. Lockerbie's tragedy redefines the threat of terrorism in aviation. Every suitcase, every passenger, every flight, security is paramount. These disasters, born of error, oversight, and malice, have shaped the safety of modern flight. Each tragedy brought reforms, better communication, stronger designs, tighter security. We honor the victims by learning, improving, and never forgetting. The skies are safer, but vigilance is our duty. Every lesson is written in loss, every improvement in remembrance. The dream of flight endures, safer but forever humbled by the past.